Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of my Wise Words Wednesday podcast series. It's so great to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you. Now, my name is Holly. I'm a holistic healer, amongst other things. I'm a tarot reader, spiritual medium, mystic, and also I am a spiritual development coach. I help people to live happier, healthier, more spiritual lives. I'm on a mission to bring the spiritual and mystic into the day-to-day world and out into the open, getting rid of all the stigma and dogma attached to having psychic abilities and having spiritual practices, and just helping people embrace that side of themselves, really, and let people know that it is normal to experience these things. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience, and it's only in the last few hundred years or so that we've actually forgotten this. Our power has been taken away from us in lots of ways by the mainstream religions that we have now, who have taken spirituality from being something within ourselves to worshipping an external deity. Now, that is a whole can of worms that I don't really want to discuss in too much detail in tonight's episode, but I would be more than happy to have a discussion with you about this if you ever wanted to talk to me about it, or if it is something you wanted me to talk about, then I can do a future episode on it. I have studied religions a lot and the history of mankind and the history of our spirituality, and where our beliefs have changed over the years. Ancient civilizations the world over all knew that we were spiritual beings here having a temporary experience, that this world is just an illusion and our true self is hidden within our physical body. And it is the mission of many people, the life pursuit of many people, you could say, to get to know that spirit within ourselves. Now, I've been listening to a lot of Alan Watts lately, and he brought up an interesting point the other day to do with language and the words we use. Now, in English, in our societies, we say we have a body. We don't say we are a body. We say we have one. So even somewhere down the line, we realize that we are a consciousness first and foremost, before a physical thing. We are a consciousness with a body. So at some point down the road, we decided to start thinking that it was a crazy notion to believe that. Crazy, huh? I am very interested in ancient civilizations and ancient cultures and their belief systems. And in ancient Egypt, they truly knew we were conscious manifestations of God. Ancient Indian tradition, the Vedas, they all teach this in great detail. The religions of the East, Buddhism and Hinduism, and obviously the others that exist there, but they all know that this is just a stepping stone, a learning curve, a classroom to teach us about human experience, the ups and downs, and they also believe in reincarnation, as do I. Different versions of the same principle. I agree that we do have different takes on it, but we do choose to come back to have different experiences. Again, I do believe that it was Alan Watts I was listening to said that he is a English philosopher. He was, should I say. He's no longer in this physical world. He's floating around somewhere, I'm sure, in the light, unless he's decided to come back already. But he said something along the lines that if you were to be living in bliss, complete and utter bliss, and you had everything you ever wanted, and that each day was complete and perfect every single day, wouldn't you want a little break from that? Wouldn't you want to have maybe a night off where you could go and have a dream, and in that dream you could be anything you wanted, you could experience anything that you wanted, and then wake up from it and go back to being in this perfect realm of complete and utter completion? Wouldn't you choose to go off and have an adventure every once in a while? And that's what this life is. The living matrix. We are just here having a dream of a physical experience, but it's so realistic and so convincing that we forget who we are and where we've come from. And we're so wrapped up and engrossed in this dream of reality that for a lot of people, we think that's all it is. And our priorities get all screwed up. And we forget what's really important. We forget that we're all one family, experiencing the same thing. We forget that we're here for the experience and not to slave our guts out, worrying about money, worrying about what other people think of us, worrying about what's cool, what's not cool, accumulating possessions to find fulfillment. That's not what this life is about. So, what is this life about? Well, I guess each individual person is got a different mission to fulfill. Each different person has come back with a different ideal that they want to experience. And we all have karma that we have to answer to, in a way. But again, that's something for a whole other episode. I came on here tonight not really knowing what I wanted to talk about, and already I've been chatting away for nearly 10 minutes. So I just wanted to say that, really, just a little bit of a reminder that we are spiritual beings, and that in order to find out what we're here for, to find that soul mission, to find the answers that we're looking for, we need to connect to that soul within ourselves. And that could be done through meditation, through creating music, creating art, through being with people that we love, having deep conversations about truly knowing who we are, about facing up to the skeletons in our closet, facing up to the shadow aspects of ourselves that maybe we don't like so much. Really diving deep, spending time in the darkness, and loving ourselves there, so that we really do become in tune with who we are, so we can really understand what we are and realize that due to the fact that this physical world around us is illusion, and that the restrictiveness of our physical bodies is just an illusion, you start to realize that extrasensory perception is the norm, that there are energetic possibilities that you may never have even considered before. You start to become aware of your energetic body, and that you can detect energies, you can feel energies, you can have premonitions, you have knowings and an intuition that will provide so many answers for you. You start to realize that communication with people no longer in this physical reality is possible. That, you have the ability to see things that are not of this physical reality, that are in a different frequency, that you can't see with your physical eyes, but you can see with your third eye or your pineal gland. And you start to feel a sense of belonging, that things start to make sense. If you've always felt kind of out of place in the world, as I have, when you start to gain these awarenesses and these knowings, these understandings, you're like, oh yeah, of course. You begin to remember these things. Everything becomes so familiar to you. Like, of course, I remember this. Even if you don't physically remember, it feels right to your soul once you start looking. I have studied the esoteric, the mystical arts, even Gnostic teachings for well over a decade now, and it's incredible how this knowledge, although it's been passed on from generation to generation in kind of secret from the mainstream, it's wonderful now how it's starting to seep out and how people are realizing these things and realizing these truths, because it ultimately helps you live a much more fulfilling life. So I'm going to start to wrap this up now, and I just want to say that if you want to feel more in tune, if you want to feel a great sense of belonging and a calmness in your life that will put everything in perspective, that'll stop you worrying about the little things, and it will help you step up into your power, to feel empowered, to feel that you are enough, that you are worthy. You need to develop that knowledge of self. You need to learn more about yourself. It said on the walls of the oracle at Delphi, know thyself. It is the route to a deeper spiritual connection. It is a route to a deeper personal connection for complete and utter well-being on a mind, body and spirit level. You need to turn the magnifying glass on yourself and really look in every layer that comes. It reminds me of that saying in Shrek, when he says an ogre is like an onion and that there are many layers, and that's so true of us as well. So yeah, know thyself. Take a long look at all the different layers of your being. And if you really want to make big changes, profound changes, then start just doing small spiritual practices on a regular basis, whether that's prayer, meditation, yoga, creating art, as I said, creating music, self-expression in any way, shape or form. Writing is my preferred method. I also love dancing. That's a really great way of connecting with the divine. And so many more. It's such a personal thing. But if you do small things on a regular basis, it's incredible how things will start opening up, how your extrasensory perception will start improving, how you will find a deeper connection with everything and everyone around you, and the universe will start answering you if you start reaching out, whether it be through synchronicities where you start seeing repeating numbers everywhere, where you think of a song and it comes on the radio, whether just crazy coincidences start happening all around you. Start paying attention and you'll be amazed at what comes through. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope that you've enjoyed this episode of me just going off on a spiel and seeing what would come through. If you enjoyed what I've talked about and would kind of like to connect with me, maybe to have a little chat or to ask any questions, then please come and join me on my social media accounts. I'm at holistic_Holly on Instagram. Holly's Holistic Healing on Facebook. I also have a YouTube channel, Holly's Holistic Healing, and I would love for you to come and check that out. And I want to add that if you are interested in developing a daily practice and really kind of hit the ground running and make great gains quickly in your spiritual journey, then my friend Stacey and I have founded a group on Facebook called Cultivating Spirituality, and we have started the 100 Days of Spirituality project, where you do a small act every day for 100 days. And the concept for this was just to help normalize it, to help bring the spiritual into the everyday, and also, again, like I said, help people move mountains and make drastic leaps forward in their own spiritual journey. So please come and check that out. All the information is available through my website, which is www.hollysholistichealing.co.uk. Thank you once again for joining me. I really, really appreciate having you here, and I hope we can connect and speak again soon. So yeah, love, light and many blessings. Yachita. Namaste.